Hi there, this is Shane O'Brien McDonald from Japan in 100 Dishes, here with another bonus episode. This is the number four bonus episode. Again, this is the kind of bonus episode where you might want to take a look at episode 7 or episode 39, because that's where I originally mentioned one of my favorite restaurants in Tokyo called the Tsubame Grill. The Tsubame Grill is a Western style restaurant. Just the regular caveats. I don't speak Japanese like a native speaker because I wasn't educated for 12 years in Japan. I just lived there for 5 years, so I'm not perfect. Also, if you want to hear it from a Japanese person, I get thousands of hours, maybe millions of hours of TV shows on TV, on YouTube, anywhere you can find. You can subscribe to Japanese TV channels over here. Anytime, feel free to do that because if you can find it subtitled, it's hard, but it's out there because most Japanese TV shows are about food. Again, this is just my personal recollections, and I'm here to guide you through this if you happen to be in Tokyo in English and you don't want to spend the whole trip eating at McDonald's. Now, this bonus episode is really about the hamburger steak. And to understand the context, Japanese people's thinking about food is everything goes into two categories. There is Japanese food, there's Western food. And then there's also ethnic food, which is everything that's not Japanese, Western, basically white people foods essentially. There's also sort of a subcategory of Chinese food as well. Chinese food would be things like ramen, dumplings, stir fries, things like that. But that kind of creeps towards Japanese food because it is based on rice as well. Again, these aren't cut and dry distinctions, but you will hear two words: wa shoku. Wa shoku is Japanese food. Wa meaning peace, but wa shoku means it's Japanese style. For whatever that is worth, it's probably going to have soy sauce and Japanese flavorings. Yo shoku is going to be Western style. Yo shoku is Western style food. So McDonald's and anything like that. Eastern, or I should say Japanese style, is called wa fu. Fu is also the character for wind. I don't know, Eastern wind is the Eastern style. Yofu is going to be Western style. However, that can apply to anything. It can apply to music, it can apply to furniture, whatever you want. Even the design of the rooms in your house. Now, this is interesting because hamburger is always going to be a Western food. There's no such thing as a Japanese hamburger in the Japanese mindset. Tsubame Grill is a restaurant that is kind of set up like a German-style pub, kinda. It's been around since the 30s, so it's been around forever. You know, McDonald's has only been there since the 70s, so this really is one of those original pre-World War II kind of restaurants serving Western food. And their main thing that people go there for is the hamburger. This here is their webpage. You can see in front of me that I've been looking at. What do they offer? This is the kind of the introductory. It's not the full menu, but when you go there, you're going to see these inflated bags. People are going to be served at their table with a broiling cast iron skillet with an inflatable aluminum foil bag. And then they open the bag, and what's inside but a hamburger, a Salisbury steak, as we would say. And they call it the Hamburger steak. This is a Hamburger steaky. It's basically a hamburger in gravy. And it's usually served with a baked potato on the side and there's some sauce to dip it in. And here it's got some mustard. So we got a couple different varieties. You've got the one in the inflated aluminum foil bag. And you've also got this one that's been fried. And this one, so this is in sauce. This one is on a bed of onions, I believe. And this is just a hamburger with a baked potato. Just interesting to note, they love telling you where this stuff is from. So this is Hokkaido produced stuff. This is the kanji for a Japanese-style hamburger. And just to prove that to you, the Japanese, it's like, here's some dried seaweed. We made the seasoning base for the hamburger. It's all brought in from Hokkaido in this obscure place in the northern peninsula. And we've also have some bonito flakes to make it as well. And those are brought in from Kagoshima. So it's like as if to tell the Japanese customer, we've gone to the far reaches of Japan to season this Western food for you. And again, one of the things is this kind of restaurant, it's kind of place on a Sunday you're going to take grandpa to. He's going to be grumpy. He's like, I don't really want to eat, I do not want to eat Western food. I only eat rice. And you're serving him a potato. Well, there you go. There's the warning sign. This is to convince grandpa, don't worry, We've traveled the ends of Japan to season this to something you're going to enjoy. And this is another one. This is the Janma Hamburger steaky. It's got a demi-glace sauce and it's got an egg, some sort of like home style basically meal with an egg on it. Again, eggs on hamburgers are very popular in Japan. The tamago burger is what it's called. Again, served with the gravy and a baked potato. Here we've got some, this is obviously, this is some cabbage rolls. It says roll cabbage. Roll Kyabetsu. So it's reversed. But cabbage rolls is another thing that's this Tsubame Grill is very, very famous for. Another thing you're going to see a lot is the croquette. Now, if you've been to Amsterdam and you have the recollection of what you did there, you're probably familiar with the Amsterdam croquette dispenser, a form of dispenser that's very common in Amsterdam, where you just put a few euro coins in and you pull out this deep fried mystery something. And croquettes are they don't have those in Japan, but they do have croquettes everywhere. The thing is, the filling in Amsterdam is absolutely delicious. It's a mystery what it is. You're never quite sure, but oh man, what a great, strange, mysterious food. But in Japan, the croquette is not particularly well flavored. Now that's why you'll see that they have different, looks like they have some ketchup here. What have they got? There's a cream bechamel. Yeah, it's a bechamel sauce, and there's a roux sauce or something going on here. There's a croquette. Again, it's a croquette. It comes with a kind of salad. Looks like a potato salad and something here. Again, they're making, this is all the way from Aomori that the ingredients have been sourced. I think there's some sort of clam or something inside the croquette. The croquette, the interior, a lot blander than you're going to get in Amsterdam. So just be aware. It's supposed to, they're designing the Japanese croquettes. There a lot of the times it's like potatoes and something, and there's not much going on there flavor-wise. They're just deep fried. That's why it's provided with sauce. Over here, wiener sausage. That's what it's called. And there's two different kinds. This looks like a boiled, this is a selection. It looks like it's some sort of boiled corned beef or pork of some kind. But this is the pièce de résistance, everybody. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. It's a frozen tomato with some sort of like coleslaw or sour, basically like it's some sort of salad in the middle of it. And it's kind of similar, like I don't know, like a mayonnaise version of, it's not quite sauerkraut, but it's kind of along that route. And it is delicious. It's basically, and it's covered with a French dressing on it, which is, and it's actually incredibly tasty as an hors d'oeuvre, as a salad starter. And you just get it, you cut it in half, like you get this tomato with its French dressing on it, and you open it up, and there's this salad inside, and it's incredible. Now, this is important. This is called Guru Nabe. G-Navi. It's .co.jp. Guru Nabi. And this is one of the two main sites that I've seen anyway, 2 or 3 or so, that basically every restaurant in Japan is on here with their menu and pictures. So it's a lot like Yelp, but it's more like business focused. There's not as many reviews and stuff like that as far as I know. It's basically one of the big problems if you live in Tokyo, finding a place, finding a restaurant where it is. This is if you just heard about something. The other competitor is called Hot Pepper. Hot Pepper has magazines with coupons. It's like a phone book almost of restaurants. And they're all divided by area and by the type of food. So if you want Japanese, literally you could spend the rest of your life going every meal to one of these restaurants. That's how many restaurants there are in Tokyo and other parts of Japan. It is, you do not go to Japan. You might think you're going there for anime and mountains and Shinto and all that other stuff, but you're really going there to eat. If you want to be happy, you go there to eat. And this has a Tsubame Grill because it's chain. Now this particular one is in the Lumine in Yokohama. But they do have them at other places as well. This is interesting. Hamburger steak is often served with this shredded material on top of it. This is daikon. I believe it's daikon. This is again the Japanese style hamburger, the one with everything that's taken from around the world. Go here, you get pate with bread. Now this is really good. This is pickled herring. It's a pickled fish. I think it's actually mackerel. But the thing is, it is incredible. I hate pickled fish. I have nightmares of childhood of pickled fish on Premium Plus crackers, and it's sickly, salty, pickled, sweet, and terrible. This is not. This is amazing. And this is worth the ticket to Tokyo just to try this. I mean, it's homemade wherever it is. It's absolutely, it's called, I think it's Nishin or whatever the hell it's called. I don't even know what Nishin is. Here, let's find out. This is the thing about this. You're never, I know it sounds like I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is the thing. Japanese cuisine is one of those things where you're kind of like, what the hell? Oh, herring. There you go. It's herring. And it's absolutely amazing. This is very common too. This is important to note. You're going to be offered by the waiter most likely. If you order this, they're going to offer this. This was white rice with soup. They're always going to try to upsell you on rice. And most of the people, if you look around at the tables in the restaurant, you're going to see that every Japanese person has ordered the hamburger steak with the potato and has gotten rice on the side. Because Japanese people, it is just built into them. Potatoes, unless it's McDonald's, it's not the real side dish. The real story is the white rice. It's the bowl of white rice. So yeah, everybody in that restaurant, you're going to look around, there's going to be all these Japanese people eating a hamburger with a baked potato on the side and a bowl of rice. And this is just something, it seems strange, but it is what it is. But what I was going to direct your attention here to is my favorite dish. It's the salmon meunier. It's a French dish. It's basically a salmon cooked in, like, fried, and it's delicious. And when I got it, I don't know if they've changed their menu. It used to come with mashed potatoes, and that was the highlight of my week every time I'd go to Tsubame Grill. Because I'd never cooked potatoes at home in Japan, which is silly, but it was what it was. And I'd go there. It was the only place in all of Japan I had been to where you could order mashed potatoes on a menu. So that in itself, this is the experience. This is the place you go. Maybe you're an English teacher. Maybe you're a diplomat. Maybe you've been posted as the executive director in charge of foreign things for some major international company, and you've just spent a year eating Japanese food, and you're just like, oh my God, I just want a baked potato. That's why Tsubame Grill exists. So I hope this is useful to you, and until next time, sayonara.